Hey, it's Sunday morning and I had leftovers from our dry cured sausage pizza and smoked Gouda pizza from the other day, from Flapper Friday. And I've decided what to do with the leftovers. We have leftover veggies, tomatoes, peppers, onions, leftover smoked Gouda, leftover sausage, and in the fridge, like I always do, I had a pie crust, some eggs, some half and half, and we are gonna make a dry cured sausage and veggie and smoked Gouda quiche for brunch. We are gonna start by sauteing our vegetables in a little bit of butter and a lot of seasonings, and that's gonna flavor up our quiche. Our vegetables are in. We're gonna season them up with some salt and pepper. And a little bit of oregano to add some Italianiness to this quiche. I know quiches are French, but what we're using is Italian, so dried oregano, dried basil, and because it's quiche, and my secret of quiche is a little bit of nutmeg. Now we're going to soften these up a bit and cool them down, because we want to make sure that they don't exude any liquid into our any extra liquid into our crust. So there we go. The next thing we're going to do while our vegetables are softening up is roughly chop our sausage in the food processor. We don't want them too fine, but we don't want them in these big pieces either. Just going to give it a couple of pulses. This sausage is hard. I may have to chop it up with a knife. Nicely chopped and ready to use, and our vegetables are almost done. We got to cool them down. Our crust is rolled out, and now we're going to put it in a pie pan. Press it in, press it up. This is going to make a nice deep dish crust for our quiche. To make it even, we're going to just make sure it just goes out to the edge. Because some of the parts did and some of the parts went over. Okay, now that it's even, we're just going to give it a little crimp around the edges to make it pretty. Might not be that pretty, but it's going to be real tasty. Okay, our crust is now ready to fill. I'm thinking about par-baking it, but I don't think I'm going to. First thing that's going in is our sausage. Spread it around. 4 large eggs in a mixing bowl. We're going to whisk those up. Followed by 2 cups of half and half. 1 egg per 1/2 cup of liquid. Beaten up nicely. No bright yellow streaks, everything's mixed together. And now our veggies are going on. The butter and the seasonings are going to add some nice flavor to this quiche. We're going to evenly distribute them all the way around. As you can see, they're cool enough to handle, which means they're cool enough to add in our egg mixture. But first, we're going to add in our cheese. Cheese is in. Oven is preheated to 350 degrees. So I always did quiche low and slow because I was using commercial convection ovens, but I have found that at home, that doesn't work so well. So we're at 350, and we're going in probably 45 minutes or so. But first, in goes our eggs, slowly, all the way around. eggs and half. Duh. All right, the perfect fit. Very nice. And now we're going to tamp it down a little bit, make sure everything's covered and evenly distributed. And I have put our quiche on top of a baking sheet in case there's any spillage, which there usually is. And now we're going in. Our dry cured Italian sausage, vegetable, and smoked Gouda quiche is out of the oven, nicely browned. And as you may notice, when I give it a shake, there's no jiggle, and that means it's done. So in a little while, we should be able to cut this and see what it looks like on the inside. We have finally cooled down enough to slice this quiche up and serve it. And it will go on the edge. Make sure that we're well cut. It's going to come out very nicely. I'm a little off point there. Tastes good. Yum, yum. First piece is always the hardest, but this was not so bad. And here's what we look like on the inside. Here's a close and personal view of our dry cured sausage, vegetable, and smoked Gouda quiche. And now we're going to take a bite. I want to thank you for joining me while we turned our pizza leftovers into a Sunday brunch, and it really came out great. And the best thing about having pie crust on hand all the time is because quiche, actually pie crust, is a great vehicle for anything you have on hand to use. And it makes, quiche is great, ham pies, meat cups, all kinds of things you can do with pie crust. And this is what we did with it today. And it's yummy and tasty and brunchy, and here we go. A nice and yummy addition to the quiche collection. Thanks again for joining me, and we'll see you again soon.